In today's episode, I will be giving my tier lists for season two or post season two of Severance. As you can see, we have a whole bunch of characters here. We got the tiers. S tier is the best, going down to F being the worst. We're going to go off not just how much I like them, but what I rate them as a character. Are they important to the story? Sometimes good villains end up in the S tier, so we'll see what happens. Let's dive right into this Severance tier list. Do something, man. People are questioning you. Shut up. Shut up. Okay, yep, do that. Sure, guys. Stupid and dumb. Just an idiot. Get your shit together, son. Fuck it. I loved it. Welcome to the dub cast. Jumping into our Severance tier list, as you can see, we do have multiple versions of each character notated by the O. So, for example, this is Helena, Helly's Audi, versus her innie is just Helly R. Same thing for Bert and a couple of the other characters who have both in-office personalities and outside office personalities. So we've got the whole crew here, pretty much a lot of people that we know. If there are some people I won't know, I'll put them on a certain tier and just leave them there, and we won't talk about it much. But we're gonna go in order as they present them. So starting it out, we have Lorne. Now, when we first met Lorne, I liked her because she's Gwen of Tarth, in Brienne of Tarth. Holy shit, her name is Gwendoline Christie. That's why I'm confused. Brienne of Tarth in Game of Thrones. I was like, this character's about to be a boss. She's kind of cold when we first meet her. She's very standoffish. She does end up helping them or help say, we don't know where Miss Casey is. However, during the season two finale, when her actions help Mark get into that door and escape to try and find Gemma, I gotta put her B tier. She's slightly positive. I'm excited to see more from her. Maybe obviously they have a very high, not high, but well-known actress playing her position. I think she will be back in her role in the coming seasons. Next, we have Harmony Cobell. Now, if you watched my season two and season one review, I'm not the highest on Harmony Cobell, and to be honest, as a character, I think her direction has gone super weird. I thought her standalone episode was the worst episode of the show. And within that episode, she did a couple things to make me mad right at the beginning, littering, and I'm gonna keep hammering on the littering. And making the guy make coffee. Like, she's very self-centered. I don't like her obsession with Kier and Egan as well. The shrine was really weird. Her obsession with Mark. She does help the crew though, so I'm gonna put her C tier. That's probably maybe a little bit too low just because she is kind of a cool character, but I don't know. She's not nice to anybody in the show, and she's just weird, like trying to be with Devon and follow people around and stuff. I don't like it, so she's going in the C tier. Next, we have Milchek, or as this lovely person who made the tier list, got to shout him out. Michaela Avery T. Thank you for this tier list. Mr. Milkshake, aka Milchek. Now, pre-season two, I think I'd have Milchek in the same tier as Harmony Cobell, even lower. Post-season two, he's A tier, bro. Milchek's a boss. When he tells Drummond to eat shit, the marching band, his dance moves are hype. Like, that's a great gif. Milchek, I think, is a very necessary character to the show and will be moving forward. I think he provides a lot of resistance to what the innies are trying to accomplish in a sometimes playful, sometimes serious way. And he's also got his own struggles where he tries to have that conversation with Natalie about being a person of color in the office, and that doesn't really go over well because Natalie doesn't really vibe with what he's saying. And um I don't know. I thought Milchek was pretty interesting. I'm pretty high on Milchek. I'm excited to see where his character goes. I could see him potentially flipping towards being anti-Severance due to the company kind of disrespecting him down the line. So I got Milchek in the A tier. Bert G, the innie of Bert. Uh, I like Bert G. He's not one of my favorite characters. Think he was fine as like a love interest for Irving. I thought their relationship was interesting and a little bit cute. I did like the dynamic. I'm gonna throw him in the top B for now. Like to, think he kind of knew more than he was letting on about the O&D department, and unfortunately he has to retire. but he was just trying to have a loving relationship with Irving. He Irving drew a lot of pictures of him, or Bert would get nervous in the room, coming up with a joke, and I love Christopher Walken in the role, so he's going in the B tier. Bert's Audi though is a different story. I don't trust this guy at all, really. He's following Irving around. He's making being secretive about his Severance stuff. He's sending Irving to the um on the train and don't tell me where you get off and stuff. I don't know. I don't really like Bert's Audi. I think I'm gonna put him behind Miss Cobell. Like, there's something shady with this guy. I think we're gonna figure it out in season 3 or 4. But I didn't really like Bert's Audi, to be honest, and I'm kind of worried about where that situation is going. Next, we have Miss Casey. You know, season one, Miss Casey, without, or we do get the context later on in season one that who she is, but without that context, she's kind of just a boring therapist character. I didn't find her to be that interesting. And when she returned slightly in season two as Miss Casey, she just listens immediately to Milchek. I can't really put her any higher than, I definitely can't put her higher than Lauren. I'm thinking either top of C or below or bottom of B. Um, I'm gonna put her top of C. I mean, there's really guys, I'll get to Gemma, but with Miss Casey, in my opinion, there really isn't much going on there. I think C is pretty fair for what she provided throughout the show so far. Now, Gemma, I fuck with. I think Gemma is the right match for Mark, and he fucked up in the season finale, as I hammered on that point in my season two review by picking Helly over him, or over her. But it's Mark on the inside, so what did I know? Blah blah blah. It's tough because we don't see a lot of Gemma, right? We only have that one Gemma episode in season or episode 7 of season 2, and then at the end when she's finally back with Mark for a couple minutes. So I'm gonna throw her top of B, because we don't get a lot of her, but when I see Gemma, I like Gemma. I like Gemma's vibe. I'm with her. So I'm throwing Gemma in the top of B. Devon. Now, our Devon. If y'all listen to the recap, I love Devon. She's Team Mark. She's down for the cause. I think Devon's a perfect sister character, but she's also has her moments of being a little bit behind the eight ball, like calling Cobell, even though that ended up working out. I didn't really think that was a good decision. She's I thought the scene of her at the party at the end of season one was really great with her trying to figure out and help Mark, but also balance the baby, also balance the Cobell drama, also balance Rickon. I'm putting her A tier just because I'm a Devon stan. I like Devon, and I'm excited to see her move on in the show. I'm gonna have to put her behind Milchek though, just because she's not in it as much as Milchek, but she's always supporting Mark, even when initially they kind of go back against Severance. She still invites him to come over and stuff. So I'm with Devon at the top or bottom of A tier. Rickon. Ah, what is there to say about Rickon, man? I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about Rickon. He's cringy. He's not really supportive of Mark's ways. He does the book deal with Natalie. I'm gonna put Rickon below Miss Casey on C tier. He's funny, he has his funny moments, he brings funny people to the table, but that's not him trying to be funny. That's just him being funny to laugh at. I gotta put Rickon in C, bro. I mean, it's Rickon. Come on, guys. Next, Natalie, D tier. She provides good sass, when people are trying to talk to the board and she's like, excuse me, the board is speaking. That's literally her only role in the show, I think. I think she's literally just a corporate shill. I don't even know if she's severed, but she seems like she has bad intentions at heart. I got Natalie in D tier. Totally rejects Milchek on the conversation about you know, us people in here in this weird world because they're different color skin and the office is a lot of white people, but she totally just shuts that down. So I gotta put her in D tier. I mean I just don't like Natalie at all. And I don't think there's much to her character. She's being she's kind of like the secret agent of it all, going to Rickon's house for the book deal and sneaking around at the board, and she's uptight with or not uptight, but just tight with Helena. So I don't like that match there. I don't like Natalie's character. I'm putting her in D tier. Miss Huang. Now, nothing really of note from Miss Huang either. I'm not gonna put a kid in D or F tier for being boring, but it's funny. Oh, she's like a 12-year-old kid being a boss of people, but she doesn't do anything besides play the game with on her phone, become a fellow. I think I gotta put I think I gotta put her at the bottom of C tier, bro. I mean, like, what is the well, name one memorable Miss Huang moment? There isn't any. She's just kind of a borderline character, in my opinion. Doesn't bring much to the show. It's just kind of like, oh, funny meme, haha, she's a boss, and she has like kind of a beef with Milchek, and Milchek owns her ass by the end. She's like, she's 12 years old. So I mean, well, it is what it is, but can't really justify putting Miss Huang much higher, in my opinion. Helly R. Now, I don't even think of where I'd put Helly. I think Helly has to go S, bro. Now, hear me out. Season one, Helly makes the show. Like, there is no show, there's no interest in Severance season one without Helly's character and what she's doing every episode, trying to, end herself with the cord, trying to cut herself, trying to send herself a message, being mad, rebellious. Obviously, we as people always like to root for the underdog, and Helly is definitely the underdog in season one. She's not even a person in season two, but when she comes back, she kind of has her moments, gets back at Helena with the sex with Mark, gets to have sex with Mark, and also encourages him to leave. She would never see him again, but she knows that that's what's right for his Audi. She's kind of had a full circle moment. So I like Helly a lot. I think Helly R S tier makes a lot of sense. Next, Ragabi. Um, I like Ragabi's mindset of trying to free the severed people, but I think she goes about it in like a really terrible way. She's always pushing Mark and being weird and kind of annoying to him. She was cool. She's cool in like season one, where she's like, "You can't tell anyone we're here and we're doing blah blah blah, and this is what we're doing," and Petey and helping Petey out and stuff. But I can't justify putting her in the top half of this tier list. I think I'm gonna go there for Ragabi. I don't know. It's just like Cobell's character is a lot more important. Ragabi, I feel like Ragabi could have a breakout season three because we don't really know her history. We don't know a lot about her. I mean, we met more of her in season two, but we don't really know what she's all about yet. Um, so I'm excited to see more about Ragabi, but as of now, wasn't really that impressed with her character. Mr. Drummond, easy F. Probably least favorite character on the show. Just an asshole. All the means of being bad and evil and helping out the severed people and being mean. And, he gets his comeuppance in season two where he dies, but he's part of this actually couple next picks that will be probably in the bottom tier just because they're assholes, have no empathy for others, are just working for the bad side and don't really seem apt to change that. And, um, really have no interest in helping our main characters. And, I don't know. I feel like Mr. Drummond's like I wouldn't say poorly writ character, but you're not supposed to like him. He does a good job at that, so maybe I should move him up, but I just hate him so much that he's got to stay at the top of F. Next, Dr. Mauer. I think Dr. Mauer is like slightly better than Mr. Drummond just because he's way less in it. He's only dealing with Gemma while Mr. Drummond's dealing with Milchek. He's dealing with the severed people. He's dealing with others. I don't know. I didn't really like his vibe. Um, he's very condescending towards Gemma. I think he's the one who tells Gemma they got divorced, that Gemma and Mark got divorced and Mark got remarried. I don't know. I don't think Dr. Mauer is a good person, just from what we've seen from the show. And he tries to complete Cold Harbor, obviously. He is, um, I don't know. He's kind of an asshole who's like torturing Gemma. So there's really no place for him other than F tier. Nurse Cecily, I'll put her in D tier just because like she's not as bad as the other two down there. Um, she has her moments of being mean, but I feel like there was a couple comic relief moments. I think especially the confrontation with Mark, and then she's not necessarily being as mean as Mr. Drummond or Dr. Mauer. She's kind of just like, let's move along here. You have to go in this door today, and blah blah blah. So I think she does have RBF though. I will say I'm sorry to that actress, but maybe that's part of the role. She just has resting bitch face. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Um, but yeah, I got her in the bottom of D tier for now. Gretchen. Gretchen, I think, is a pretty complex character, and I have an affinity towards her actress from being Denise in The Walking Dead. I think her storyline with Dylan's Innie and Audi is actually pretty fascinating. We don't meet her until the middle or kind of early season two. Don't see a lot of her either. I'm thinking, at first she doesn't admit to Dylan's Audi that about what happened, then she does admit to it, and it seems like that makes their relationship better from her being honest. I think I'll put her, and she also shuts down Dylan's Innie, which is like takes a lot of balls to do, especially because he's probably going to be like suicidal after that. So I got to put her. It's like, do I go C tier? I mean, she's definitely better than Rickon. Yeah, I'll put her bottom of B tier because just we've only seen her a little bit, but her character's pretty complex, like way more complex than Miss Casey. Does the right thing by the end of the day. Is pretty likable just in a conversation, seems to be a good person. So I'm putting her in B tier. Felicia. Wasn't really impressed by Felicia. I think she's gonna go C tier. I mean, the question is where. I don't know. There isn't a lot to her character. She does have one conversation with Irving, which is fun, but she's always just kind of walking around with Bert, and it's not really that interesting. Um, I want her to be interesting, because she's with Bert and she's an O&D and D and she knows a lot of stuff. Seems like she's been there a while. Definitely can't go over Cobell. Probably not going over Gabi. I think Bert's outie. There's even more going on. I think she's got to go bottom of seats here, bro. I mean, there's just not really much going on with Felicia to be like, oh, that was a great Felicia moment. That was awesome. I loved when Felicia did this. What did she do? Like, she hasn't done much. She's kind of just an NPC on the show, so I got to put her at the bottom of C. She is severed, so maybe her outside personality is cooler. Who knows? Fields. Um, like Bert's outie, I'm very sus on Fields. I think, he slipped up a couple times at dinner. He's like sent up, he went to church and his priest told him it was okay for people to have love, which I think is like honorable. And he's not totally against the idea of Bert and Irving having a relationship in the office, but he mentioned some things that are pretty sus. I think it's apt to put him right next to his husband. Here, I think I got Bert's outie slightly above him. I don't know. I don't like Fields really that much either. I just don't like his vibe. Like something suspicious going on there for sure. I don't know. He wasn't a great. There wasn't really a lot of complexity. I mean, there's complexity with him, but it's like, who is Fields? We don't really know a lot about him. He is married to Bert, so maybe he made a good choice marrying Christopher Walken. I don't know. I think we're gonna learn more about Fields in season two. Um, Gwendolyn Y, Mark W, and Dario R. Um, this is a tough group to assess. Gwendolyn Y, I literally don't remember anything, so I think she's gonna go behind Felicia. I mean, I watched this show. Yes, I watched it a little bit ago, but I mean, there's literally nothing. They're in one episode and they get transferred out. Dario, like slightly better than her, and then Mark W. I mean, I can't put Mark W above Harmony. I can't put her. I can't. Can I put him above Ragabi? I can. I'll put him there. I feel like Mark W is the best of that bunch. He was more interesting and had a little bit more going on with him than a bunch of these characters in C tier, just because he was funny. He's kind of older. He's been there for a while. Severed, has the same name as Mark, so that makes for some funny things, even though that's out of his control. Um, yeah, I mean that crew is just kind of surface level stuff, so I'm not going to speak too much on those three. It's a fun thing to happen for one episode, but I'd be surprised if we see any of those characters again. Helena, the Audi of Helly, she's got to go bottom of F tier, bro. Now, she's the most evil character in the show. I don't care what you say. Her father hates her, which is one way or another, but her actions in season two really read to me as a jealous, self-centered person who can't resist or can't possibly see someone else win in a scenario. Like she has to be the one with the last call. And I don't like the situation of her pulling up on Mark in the restaurant, I think is really uncomfortable. Like, what was she doing there? Her watching the clip over and over again of her Annie and Mark kissing and then going and taking, being the first one to have sex with him and like manipulating him into thinking she's Helly. I think that's all really bad stuff. I think Helena's a terrible person and her motives are questionable. And she's also an Egan who's helping to enforce Severance, so she's got to be bottom of F tier, bro. I don't. I think she's my least favorite character on the show. Fuck Helena. Which is crazy now looking at it. We have Helly R at the top of S and then Helena Audi bottom of F. But that's just how it be sometimes. PD. PD obviously only in season one was fun for a bit. Like there's fun PD scenes where he's reintegrating, crashing out. Does try to help Mark a lot. Um, I think I'll put him B below Gemma or above. I'm putting him above Gemma. I just feel like when he's reintegrating, he's really trying to help the crew out, like help Mark out, figure out what's going on. And both his Innie was good friends with Mark as well, and was also hiding stuff and trying to get out before any of them even thought about it. PD, I think, is an interesting character. Him appearing season one, Mark thinks he's like having a dream when he sees him. Um, I like Petey, unfortunate ending for his character. Seemed like he cared a lot for his daughter. Seemed like he cared a lot for Mark. I mean, he comes and finds Mark in the outside world. He didn't have to do that. I think he was just trying to help everyone out. So I got Petey top of B tier. Now, this character is going to be the one character on the tier list I'm not remembering off rip. Hampton. Oh, this is the guy. Is this the guy from Cobell's episode? I think that's who it is. Hampton from Cobell's episode. This guy is a tortured soul, man. He just works at a coffee shop, and then Gretchen, or not Gretchen, Harmony Cobell shows up for a day and wrecks his world. Um, Seemed pretty chill, but then like doing the drugs was weird. His interactions with Sissy were weird. I think I'm gonna put him below Ragabi. I don't know. I mean, he's in one episode, and we're probably. I mean, maybe we'll see him again. He's important enough to be on this tier list. I think this is mostly a season two tier list, but yeah, I mean, it's Hampton. Like, who is Hampton really? We don't know a lot about him. He just huffs gas and basically grills Cobell, even though he just does everything she says. So I think that's a good spot for Hampton. Now here's where we get to the controversial, the big three. They're innies and outies, starting with our main character, Mark. Mark S on the inside. I'm giving him S tier, bro. He's got to go behind Helly though. Mark S is the main character of the show. It's not even Mark Audi, main character of the show. I mean, Mark S is always down for the cause. Mark S gets his way by the end of season two, going back with Helly. He bangs both Helly. No, I'm not gonna like put crown that as an accomplishment, but Mark S, I think he accomplishes a lot of his objectives. He's able to help out in season one. I think he's the most effective when he gets out, and like causing a rift because season two is all about him. He's obviously very good at his job, is pretty friendly with everybody, besides when Irving like crashes out in a minute in season two. But I like Mark S, and he's definitely one of my favorite, and he's one of my favorite characters on the show. When he always goes down, I mean, him going downstairs is like the basis of the show. So this is his personality is the basis of the show. Interactions with Milchek, Cobell are great. Always when he gets pulled into the corporate meetings, was only the only one who was kept on the staff from the beginning of season two. Fights to get his friends back. Fights to get a lot of changes in the Severance operation. So I'm interested to see how. I mean, his worst scene, in my opinion, was the finale when he was being pretty irrational. But he's fighting for his fucking life, as the famous R. Kelly once said. Fuck R. Kelly, but he did say that in a viral clip in like 2017. Moving on, Mark the Audi. I don't want to be rude, but I mean, Mark the Audi is motivated to find Gemma, right? And that's pretty admirable, the things he goes through it. I mean, reintegration, it's a gross process. I don't think he can be lower than A tier, but I'm having him at the bottom of A tier. I can't put him any higher. I mean, Devin's my girl, Milchek's the boy. So he's got to go bottom of A tier. I think Audi Mark season one, it really isn't much admirable going on there. And even in season two, he has some grumpy moments, but I feel like he makes a lot of strides in trying to figure out how to not coincide, but live a successful life while also keeping Mark S alive. He comes back to the office. On the outside, he is kind of being anti-David, like taking everything she's saying with a grain of salt, even though his Annie told her that Gemma is still alive. I don't know. I like Mark's Innie better than his Audi, which is fucked up to say because his Audi's like a way more experienced person and is actually his like true self, I guess. But is that his actually true self? I guess that's kind of like a deeper question you can ask on like if a personality is one way in one dimension and a different way. But I like Mark's Innie a little bit better than his Audi. I feel like his Audi's been pretty grumpy at times throughout the series. He is our main guy though, so he can't go lower than A. I mean, you got to root for both Marks. So he's going bottom of A tier. Irving on the inside, Irving B inside, also A tier. I got him above Mark. Now, the reason for this is I think Irving's arcs are great, where in season one, he's like the goody two shoes of the group, pretty unwilling to budge on decisions to try and like go with the uprising and try and do something against the severance. But when he is in the office or whatnot, when he's in the office and makes those decisions to change, it's hype. Like I think it's episode 7 or 8, and it's got to be 6 or 7 in season one when he's like, you know what, let's fucking go, whatever he says. And I forget the exact context of it, but that was baller. And then in season two, I think the strongest episode, looking at them all, was episode four when he clocks Helena being Helly, forces Milchek to change her back or he's going to drown her. I mean, that was like peak television. That was my favorite episode of the season. That was my favorite moment of the season. Irving's got to be A tier. I mean, his arcs are crazy, and he says some screwed up things, especially to Mark in the tent, but he's always there for the boys at the end of the day. And he found love too before. I think he found love before Mark did. I think he was with Irving, I mean Bert before that. He's interested to walk around, meet things. He kind of drops the work, and goody two shoes act. So I like Irving B a lot. He's in the A tier. His Audi, I'm not as high on, which is crazy. I think all four of our main characters are going to be higher on the Audi than any. Little spoiler alert coming up for Dylan, but Irving's Audi, he's pretty suspect as well. I mean, I like that he has I like his dog. I like him painting the black hallway just weirdly, but doesn't seem like he has a lot going on. We don't really know much about him. Um, he is trying to crack the case on Severance. I think I'm gonna put him here in between Lauren and Gretchen. We don't really know Irving on the outside. Like he walks with his dog, he paints. He's trying to figure stuff out about Severance, but like, what's his personality? He lives alone. He has a nice car. Like, I don't know. He kind of is. I mean, it's not really his fault for being shy about the Bert stuff, but it's like, it's a weird dynamic and vibe. I don't know. I don't really know what Irving's. I mean, we don't really know what's Irving's Audi's about. I've said that a bunch of times already. So, moving on. Last two, we have Dylan G and Dylan Audi. Dylan G, S tier. I mean, he goes back and forth from sometimes. Well, he's just a hard worker. Like he gets the waffle party, but he makes the ultimate sacrifice in season one after he sees his kid. Like he wants them to all experience what he saw and see his people on the outside, so he stays behind, keeps the security door open. And then in season two, even when he's down after everything that happens to him, his Audi wife turns down a relationship with him. He helps the boys out and puts the vending machine, holds the vending machine, tries to inspire the people to uprise against Milchek, pushes for the funeral against Irving. Like Dylan G's for the boys. Not in like a like it's a boys, like he's for the people. Dylan G's one of the best three characters in the show in my opinion. Rizzed up his wife, basically made her fall back in love with the real Dylan. So there's not much negative things you can say about Dylan G. I just think he has slightly less impact than the two characters we have above him, just maybe because he's kind of that not side character, but like second onion level of character. The show is really about Mark and Helly and um their dynamic. So Dylan G, top tier of S. He goes third place. Dylan's Audi. I do have sympathy for Dylan's Audi. Goes through tough times trying to find a job after he's let go at Severance or let go at Lumen, but doesn't seem like he's been the best lately. Gretchen seemingly mentions that she fell out of love with him. He does have like fun moments caring for his kids, but just don't really know a lot about him either. I think naturally he's a little bit better than Irving just because Irving's a little bit more suspect in my opinion. I don't really know what Irving's like motivations and vibes are. We kind of know what Dylan's about. He has kids, has fun with like his kids love him, seemingly, and Gretchen does love him, just not as much as before. But now they are gonna love each other. They have an honest relationship, and he's willing to come back even after he got fired. So that's where I'm gonna leave Dylan Audi, and that's where we leave off with this tier list. So let's run it down. Top of S tier, we have Helly, Mark, and Dylan G. I mean, three of the main characters right there. Simple. A tier, we got Milchek, Devin, Irving, and Mark on the outside. I love this tier. B tier, kind of good characters, but not like too complex. Petey, Gemma, Bert, Lauren, Dylan Audi, Irving Audi, and Gretchen. C tier, a lot of people in the C tier. I just, these aren't my favorite characters, but they do provide something. It's just not something I'm necessarily okay with everything they're providing. Miss Casey, I think, as an Annie is pretty boring. Rickon is a weirdo and has some like the book. I think he's kind of oblivious. Harmony Cobell is Harmony Cobell, and then we continue on with the other people in this tier. D tier, I like these two paired together. Natalie and Nurse Cicely, kind of I wouldn't say pessimistic, but I'm just pessimistic about them whenever I see them because I know they're not going to help out our main characters. And, you know, Natalie, I do think goes a little bit above because she does provide some moments, like with the board, I think that are pretty funny. But besides that, F tier, we got the abusers. No, I mean, these people are all scumbags. Dr. Mauer, Mr. Drummond, Helena, the main pushers of the Severance, not very nice about it either. So that's the Severance tier list, guys. Not really missing many main characters, in my opinion. Thank you again for the tier list. Michaela Avery T. This was fun doing. So, gonna do these tier lists for when I watch shows consecutively, or yeah, I mean, if it's just one season, we'll do a tier list. If I watch like season one, then season two, like I did for Severance, we'll keep doing the tier list. So, what would you guys change about my tier list? Seemingly, the tier lists are one of the best videos I do on the channel. So, we also receive a lot of feedback. Sometimes I have controversial takes. So, what would you guys change about this tier list for Severance post season two? Let me know down below in the comments. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave a dislike, subscribe. All y'all subbing and unsubbing, I see you. No, I'm just kidding, but that's what it is, man. So this has come out after my Severance season two review. We did episode by episode, ended up being an hour and 20 of fun there. So go check that out if you want to hear my full thoughts on the season. Besides that, we have upcoming movie reviews. We have The Hunt for Red October, and we have My Cousin Vinny coming from movies. And besides that, sports, UFC 315 is tomorrow. I think I'm going to be dropping this video on Saturday. So if you haven't checked out UFC 315, if I've hopefully dropped it by now, go check that out. And NBA playoffs, round two, trying to organize the troops for a stream just to catch up. We're going to miss the beginning of the round two, obviously, because there's been a couple of games so far, but lots to talk about early on with three top teams in most people's mind losing their game early or first game. So lots of interesting stuff on the Dubcast as always. Follow us on social media. Gonna try and be better at posting on social media so everyone knows when there's a stream, when what clips are out. I need to do better at clips and short-term stuff. Oh, next show, You season 5. Everyone's talking about You, so I gotta get on that one as well. But I'll leave y'all at that. So as always, be easy, y'all.